It's an orange juice.
What's up everyone, this is OJ. These are the balance changes that will launch on the 11th. The Night Witch is finally receiving a nerf. Its damage is being reduced by a whopping 9%. To put that into perspective, with 2 bats, her DPS is lowering from 324 to 307. That's not a big deal, but the interactions are a big deal. Her death spawn is being nerfed again. From 3 bats to 2 bats. She'll have slightly less of an impact on the field when she dies. Let's say she dies and a giant tanks her tower. 3 bats would have meant 201 damage per second. Well, 2 bats translates to 137 damage per second. This is a meaningful nerf. The Knight, Giant, Pekka, Golem, Mini Pekka, Giant Skeleton, Hog Rider, Royal Giant, Bowler, and the Ice Golem will survive 1 extra shot from her. Some will survive with a sliver of health, completely changing interactions with her. Her range is being reduced by 11%. She no longer has the reach that the Prince does. This is quite subtle and it's really only a 0.2 tile nerf. But what this changes is that an activated King Tower will now target her, whereas before, she could freely hit a Princess Tower without being punished. Her spawn rate is slowing down. Supercell is reducing the spawn rate from 6 seconds up to 7 seconds. She'll spawn slightly fewer bats. It's very subtle against smaller defenses, but it can mean the difference for counter pushes where her strength lies. When Vietnam invented, or at least popularized the bridge spam meta in CR Worlds, the battle ram became absurdly overpowered. It's receiving a nerf. It used to take 3 tiles to ramp up a charge. Now, it'll take 4 tiles. Less connections and less double pencil damage. Another nerf is that the Barbs will propagate a bit slower. When the pencil connected, they would spawn in 0.8 seconds. Now they'll appear in 1 second after the pencil connects. The Graveyard seems to have a higher win rate, so they're reducing the duration of this legendary spell from 10 seconds down to 9 seconds. Before, it would spawn a total of 17 skeletons. Now, it'll spawn 15 skeletons. This is a huge change. Oftentimes, it's that 1 skeleton that wrecks your tower. Theory crafting the damage, I would say an unsupported Graveyard will deal about 200 to 500 less damage. The heal spell is too strong with 3 Musketeers and a few other combinations. The duration is reducing from 3 seconds down to 2.5 seconds. This is just the surface. Supercell also fixed an inconsistency and removed that 7 tick that it had. Now it'll have a total of 5 ticks, which means it used to heal 616 health. Now it'll heal 440 health. This is a 30% nerf to the heal spell. The baby Pekka is receiving a buff. Its damage is increasing by 4.6%, from 572 up to 598 damage. It'll now one-shot Electro Wizards, Musketeers, and Wizards. The Electro Wizard is receiving a very subtle nerf. To keep consistent with everything, its health is being nerfed by 2%. It'll still survive a fireball. The only interaction this changes is that the new baby Pekka one-shots it. It's a subtle indirect buff to the baby Pekka. The Expo and the Mortar are receiving a slight buff. Its deploy time is being decreased from 4 seconds down to 3.5 seconds. It'll lock onto targets slightly faster now. If your opponent's too slow to plant down tank or distraction units, you'll connect to that sweet Princess Tower sooner. The Dank Prince is beefier. His damage is increasing by 6%, and his hit speed will be faster, 1.4 seconds from 1.5 seconds. This is a 15% increase in DPS. A charge strike in a regular attack used to deal 577 total damage. Now it'll deal 618 damage, which will now kill Musketeers and Wizards. The Wizard's receiving some love. His damage is being buffed by 10%, but its hit speed is being reduced from 1.5 seconds to 1.7 seconds to compensate for the DPS difference. He will now be able to one-shot skeletons and bats, another indirect nerf to Graveyard. He can also kill minions and archers in 1 less shot. This is huge. He's actually good at countering minion hordes now. The bats are practically seeing a 0 use rate. They will now spawn 5 of them. Don't be tricked by Supercell though. The Ice Wizard now one-shots them. That's it for the balance changes. Good luck in the 20-win challenge, and stay tuned for more quality OJ.